Hello, 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 and hello. Welcome to Level 40 Unlocks. Today I am doing a reaction to this new series, The Mandalorian Season 2. Now, I've already seen Season 1. I saw that before Level 40 Unlocked ever existed for me. But now that we are here with Level 40 Unlocked and we've done so much as far as anime reactions, cooking, video gameplay, and right now, the MAGA podcast starring your boy, Sep40, aka J Dub, is also available on YouTube on a completely separate channel. So, I've been doing quite a few ventures, and I wanted to introduce this one now. So, this is Level 40 Unlock series reactions. There are so many shows I have so many opinions on. When I watch them, I go talk to my coworkers afterwards and like, hey, did you see this episode of, say for instance, Lovecraft Country, or when Watchmen was hot, or The Boys last season. Like, there's so many shows I've watched, and I've had these water cooler conversations with people in my life, in my inner circle, and I want to share that experience with you guys. You guys are now my inner circle as well. You're part of the family, so welcome to Level 40 Unlocked Series Reactions. And I say all that to say that today I am reacting to Episode 1 of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like, follow, subscribe, get those notifications so whenever I go live or whenever I post new content, you'll be the first to know. So before we lift off into The Mandalorian, let's lift our mind off with some nice OG float cannabis. That one's good. Alright, here we go. Is that a Wookiee? Oh no, I thought that building in the background was a Wookiee. Okay. The red eyes, anime red eyes. Graffiti. We in the hood? Are we in the space hood?
Well, I'll bet you the information you seek.
What's he doing with his other
die
hand?
within the next minute and a half. And all you have to put up in exchange is your shiny Beskar armor.
Excuse me?
I'm
Lost your
pay
damn
you for the
man?
information. I'm not leaving my fate up to chance.
Nor am I.
You cheater. Well, man, well, one eye, you got a lot of balls.
Now I will peel it off your corpse.
You should have shot a long time ago.
Tell me where the Mandalorians are, and I'll walk out of here without killing
Told you.
But you said you weren't the gambler.
That was funny.
I'm not. Now where is the Mandalorian you know of?
Tatooine?
Tatooine it is then.
Wait, what are you doing? Mando!
There you go. Told you. Told you. You said you weren't gonna die by my hand.
Oh, thank the Force!
Wait a minute. She knows about the Force?
Just have me worried sick. Come near, you little womp rat.
If I can locate another of my kind, I can chart a path through the network of coverts.
You've been the only Mando here for years, from what I can tell.
Okay.
Where's Mos Pelgo? I'm told there's one there.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for a Mandalorian.
Can you describe him?
Nice accent.
Someone who looks like me.
Funny.
You mean the Marshal?
Okay, not who I... Wait a minute, hold on. The helmet. The helmet is who I thought. The helmet is Boba Fett's helmet, but I don't know the actor's name. I know he's good in Santa Clarita Diet, though. Is he about to take his helmet? Oh, yeah, he's not a Mandalorian.
Who are you?
He's weaponed up.
I'm Cobb Vanth, Marshal of Mos Pelgo.
Where did you get the armor?
Bought it off some Jawas.
Hand it over.
Are we doing a Dune sandworm, aka Tremors? Oh, you're lunch. What'd I tell you? And it's a sand shark.
Maybe we can work something out. Help me kill it, I'll give you the armor.
Oh. Pre-Clone War tech right there. That looks like a pod racer
You don't
engine.
understand what it was like. The town was on its last legs. It started after we got news of the Death Star blowing up. The second one, that is.
The fall of the Empire resulted in bandits coming that exact minute it get broadcast. Oh wow.
Grabbed a Camtono. I had no idea it was full of silicax crystals.
Usually it's nothing's free with Jawas. I was about to say. He can just give you water and shelter. Oh, well, he saw the Boba Fett armor on the
It bought my freedom.
bartender. Oh wow, they can't shoot. Perfect damn. And he hit him once and then decided to stop shooting. They all ran? This is gonna be fun.
Hey, partner. You want to tell me what's going on?
They want to kill the Great Dragon, too.
Oh, just the little things like that. This is still very much a Western. This is like, you know, cowboys running across a Native American tribe, and then one of the cowboys knowing that, like, the language and is able to speak to them because all it takes is just someone to have common understanding and not treat them like an enemy.
They're laying out a bantha to protect the settlement. They've studied its digestion cycle for generations. They feed the dragon to make it sleep longer.
Bruh, you didn't plan out your escape path at all. You didn't plan your escape path at How you gonna be having a mask on and still show the shock expression? I couldn't see their face, but I read their expression.
Fresh ideas.
The Mandalorian is willing to help us slay the Leviathan in exchange for returning the armor to its ancestral owners. And the Sand People are willing to help.
They raid our mines! They're monsters!
I know these people. They are brutal. But so is the Dune Sea. They have survived for thousands
Dune
of years
Sea?
in these sands. And they know the Great Dragon better than anyone here. If we are willing to leave them the carcass and its ichor, they will stand by our side in battle and vow never to raise a blaster against this town until one of you breaks the peace.
I'm thinking the humans settled onto this planet and the Tusken Raiders were the, you know, original inhabitants of Tatooine. Which is why they're so familiar with the rough terrain and the non-colonized parts.
Hey! What are you doing? That's an explosive! What are you trying to blow the whole place up?
Obviously not. It was an accident.
Take it easy. It was an accident.
Thank you.
Okay?
What do you want to do?
It was an accident.
Oh wow. That was unexpected and disgusting.
Almost. Ow!
Hey! No problems with the detonator. It actually worked. That's shocking. Now don't have another one inside there. Don't have a twin brother or something like that. Wait a minute. That wasn't enough to kill it? This is like an anime. When you just see smoke, you never assume the bad guy's dead when you just see smoke. And you don't see the body. You know as soon as that smoke
I think
clears.
it's dead.
Yep.
Me either.
Yep. Okay, we're all on the same page then. Did it really do that? It did that. That's both. That's
Picking us off like womp rats.
yeah. Action scene. Here we go. Two badasses lifting off. Let's go fight. Like, oh, there's a bathtub with a whole bunch of explosions, explosive stuff. Okay, so you saw what I saw.
Get its attention.
Right down his throat, right? Got him in the eye. Is that the eye shot?
I got its attention. Now what? You're gonna take care of the child.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know, but wish me luck.
And is he gonna blow it up from the inside? Oh, he shocked it. Okay, and forget that disruptor rifle is also a cattle prod. It gave it some indigestion.
This was well earned.
It was my pleasure.
I hope our paths cross again.
As do
They
I.
will.
Oh, and you tell your people I wasn't the one that broke that.
Is it an egg? I don't know if I could eat something like that. Just knowing that it has acid vomit just makes me think that the meat is just way too tough and poisonous. Oh! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was Season 2, Episode 1 of The Mandalorian. Man, that was a really good episode. It did progress the overall story of The Mandalorian at pretty much at all. I was going to say too much, but no, not at all. We did find Yoda's people. The audience saw Boba without his armor because we recognized the face from the movies, but Mandalorian, our lead character, didn't find him. So we got no closer to getting Baby Yoda home. We got no closer to finding out Empire's motivations. Are they aware of like what Yoda is? And well, they obviously have some idea because from the first season they captured him. They wanted to experiment on him, but they just want him because they know that he's very force sensitive, and since the destruction of the second Death Star, which they brought up in the show, that they are lacking force sensitive people, for at least for the dark side. So they're looking for anyone who can help him get closer to the Force, or are they after Baby Yoda to turn him to the dark side so that they can raise a powerful version of a Darth Yoda? That would be interesting if that would have been their motivations. Another thing is they mentioned the second Death Star, and the Empire is still like the remnants of the Empire is still like the main enemy here. So this was the time period of after Return of the Jedi, but before the Rise of Skywalker, or the what is the First Order. So this is before the First Order replaced the Empire as the new big bad. So I'm wondering how so much knowledge of Jedi, Force, and all this has been lost in such a short time period. Because The Mandalorian is taking place in that time frame from Return of the Jedi, honestly, which we can say Luke is maybe 2 or 3 years older. So we could say, let's just call it even 40 years. 40 years. So Return of the Jedi, the destruction of the second Death Star, to The Force Awakens, where Luke is like not even in the movie, but we know that he's on the planet and he's at the very last scene of the movie. So and that's a 60-something-year-old Luke. So let's say 40 years. So I'm a little confused about how so many people seem to have forgotten like these heroes of this great galactic war, like Luke Skywalker, Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, Master Yoda, Darth Vader, and the Emperor, and how that they were able to do all this space wizardry stuff and all this Jedi Force powers or Sith chokeholds. Like how they forget all that, but they still use phrases like "thank the Force." Like that mechanic was like "thank the Force," but apparently in season one, no one knew what Baby Yoda was or could explain his mysterious abilities to levitate creatures or to stop fire or to heal. And I'm like, well, now that I'm rethinking about that, it's like, well, how did they? I mean, a planet like Tatooine being so close to the center of everything, how did they, of all places, not have any knowledge about the Force and who and what species Baby Yoda is from? Yet in a few years down the road, when the First Order replaces all these Empire remnants, they have the Knights of Ren, and one of them is Ben Kenobi, who's a Force user, who was a former student of Luke Skywalker, who was trained in the next generation of Jedi. So I'm a little confused about that. But besides that, I went off on a tangent about how that is not adding up, how the lack of knowledge about the Force and the heroes of the Great War and Yoda being one of those members of the Jedi Council and a veteran of the Clone Wars, how his race and him is completely forgotten in time in less than, because like I say, Yoda was doing his thing in all three of the prequels, and that was during Princess Leia's mama's, Queen Amidala, time period, which is also Darth Vader's time period, even though he was Anakin Skywalker. So, and Princess Leia is alive during the time of the Mandalorian. The time period that the Mandalorian is set, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker are all alive. Rey is probably being born or being growing up during this time. So the Force is still active and out there, but apparently there's just no knowledge of it in this realm that the Mandalorian, at least in the circles that the Mandalorian travels in. So that's kind of nibbling at me a little bit. But all in all, let's jump off of that. I spent like 8 minutes talking about just that alone. All in all, I enjoyed it. It didn't further the plot at all. It didn't further the story, but it was entertaining. And that's all I really can ask for from a show, is that you entertain me. Yeah, I mean, I got great visuals, great cinematography, a good story, a very like the entire franchise, The Mandalorian, is pretty much a space western. I mean, the entire Star Wars franchise was a space western fantasy. So, complete with a princess trapped by in an evil castle. So, I get it. And this was very much as I said, that I am not trying to be offensive in the term cowboys and Indians, but that was the term for the type of shows that this seems to be based on. Like, I don't remember too many episodes of Bonanza or Silverado or even The Lone Ranger. I do remember those coming on when I was a child, because this is level 40 unlocked, so this is a long time period of watching television. I'm talking 80s and 90s and whatnot. So yeah, in the Western genre, this would have been one of those type of shows, and it was very telling how the Mandalorian, who was able to speak the language, because he didn't just treat the Tusken Raiders as mindless savages. He actually treated them as intelligent, honorable. He's like, yeah, they're raiders, but they keep their word. They promise to do something, they're going to do it. So he sees honor in these people, honorable group, honorable race of people, and not just brutal monsters that we all make our enemies out to be. Like we always try and curtail a box, put our enemies in this specific box as just pure evil or just monstrous figures, and that's what they tried. That's what the townspeople considered the Tusken Raiders to be. But without those Tusken Raiders, the town would be completely gone. And once the sheriff learned to accept the fact that, hey, we actually have a common enemy, and if I had actually spent some time trying to see things from not just my perspective, but from a global perspective, maybe I could find common ground with someone who I once considered an enemy. So I thought that was a good lesson. I find it was very Hollywood, storytelling cliche, but it's always a good thing when you see those type of messages portrayed, even though they're old and cliche. It still gives you a little hope that cooperation is the right way to go. So I'm happy to see that in the show. I enjoyed the creature designs. I enjoyed the Tusken Raiders, little dog-like creatures that were about to attack. I enjoyed the bond that the Marshal and the Mandalorian was able to create, and now I would like to see him in another episode, because at first, and I was really suspecting him of still being a bad guy. It was like, yeah, he don't want to break bread with the Tusken Raiders. His story is like really a stretch of believability. Like he went into town with one blaster and just completely eliminated all the bad guys, and his town got taken over the very minute, like literally 2 minutes after the broadcast of the destruction of the second Death Star. His town got completely overrun by, or his bar or whatnot got overrun by these bandits and whatnot, and he just comes back with one blaster and one set of armor and chases all of them out of town and kills them all pretty much with the missile on his back. I was like, man, this guy is painting himself out to be a complete hero. But then we get to the scene where he's in the town convincing the townspeople. It's like, oh, he's gained their respect, so maybe he isn't such a bad guy. Then later on in the show, you see him actually drink from the stinky black pumpkin thing that they handed him earlier, and you see him break up a fight between one of the townspeople and one of the Tusken Raiders, and you're like, oh, they building a redemption in him. They're showing us that he does have a true character. So I enjoyed it. Like I say, it didn't push the overall story any further. It didn't give me any cool scenes with the black lightsaber or the dark saber. I didn't get any space battles, no X-Wings and nothing like that. But I got a cool stranger walks into town, teams up with the Marshal, and takes down the giant land shark in the Dune Sea. Because I kept calling it the Dune worm. By the way, is anybody going to go see the movie Dune? If it's in theaters, I'm definitely not going to see it. If it comes out on like one of the on-demand services that I have a subscription to, I have no opposition to watching it. But tell me what you guys are going to do. I don't know. I seen the Dune with Patrick Stewart in it, and I enjoyed that one. But from what I understand, that's completely different from the movie. I mean, from the book. And that the new movie Dune that's coming out is going to be closer to the book. So, yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm not going to the theater, though, for it. But that's a whole nother sci-fi franchise. As far as the Star Wars franchise, as I said, enjoyed this episode. Wish it would have had a little bit more in relation to what we left off with in season 1. it seems like it's starting its own branch of story here with the Boba Fett showing up at the end without his armor, and the Mandalorian going back, still needing pretty much starting from square one again. Still needing to find somebody, who can help him out, whether it be another Mandalorian or someone familiar with the Baby Yoda's race. So, obviously, you don't get the guy who played Jango Fett in the prequels to show up at the end of the show, though, for no reason at all. So obviously they're going to do something with that character. So a continuation of this first episode story seems to be in a mix. So we'll see what happens next time on episode 2. So join me for that one. Until then, wishing you all peace and a bye bye.